Hey everybody, Coach Troy here. Now, it's no secret that in the last few years, Target has really upped its board game. And it's also no secret that they really like their IPs. So today I'm going to be going over my top 5 board games I got from Target based off of movies. All right, so this is just strictly movies, and they've got a ton of them. So no, I haven't collected all of them. I haven't played them all. These are just the top 5 that I got in my collection. So let's break it down. Well, I was going to get in the video, but someone else is taking the spot. Well, let's see how much work she actually lets me get done. Now, the first game is based off a movie, which is based off a ride, and that is Disney's The Haunted Mansion. Now, this is a set collection game, plays 2 to 6, and I'd say a little bit less than an hour. Object of the game is to collect sets of ghosts. You're going to be going around the mansion using the endless hallway and just collecting ghost cards. And the ghost cards are going to interact kind of like if you've ever played Sushi Go, like that. Some will get you points exponentially, some will get points in pairs, some will only be 1 point, but they'll activate certain special abilities and help you get other ghosts right away. There are several different sets that you're going to be going for, but as you do it, you got to watch out for a couple of jerks. And I'm talking about these hitchhiking ghosts here. Now, these are a pain. What they're going to do is they're going to be moving around and giving you haunt cards. Whoever has the most haunt points at the end of the game, they're going to have to discard one of their sets of cards. And so a big hit because of these guys. There's also some interaction. You can duel with other players to, try to get other people to get more haunt cards or steal their ghost cards. In between rounds, there will be different things that happen that affect the round. Otherwise, it's a pretty simple game. It's easy to teach. It works well with the youngins. I don't know. I thought this was actually a very surprisingly well done game. Oh, see, Fiona doesn't like those ghosts either. I thought this was actually a probably underrated, very well done game. It's not the most intense in depth game, but it takes that set collection and just adds more game into it. Otherwise, so yeah, big fan. I'm definitely going to recommend The Haunted Mansion. Now, the next game, sticking with that horror theme a bit, is going to be Jaws. This is an all versus one game, as one player is going to take the role of Jaws, and they're going to be terrorizing the town, or the beach around the town. They're going to terrorize Amity Island, put it that way. What if there's any connection between Amity Island and Amityville? And anyway, it's a pretty good game that plays out kind of like the movie. So you're going to be taking the roles of Hooper, Quint, Brody. You're going to be moving around the town, trying to make sure that not too many people get eaten by sharks. You're going to be setting up the barrels to deal with the shark so you can get to that final showdown. You're going to be trying to track that shark. The shark is actually pretty cool because you're going to be using hidden movements. So they're not going to know exactly where you are, where you're going to spring up, where you're going to attack, where you're going to take down some more innocent swimmers. And the different characters, they play a little differently. Like Hooper can move around better, Quint can launch barrels, different things like that. So you're not exactly the same. And depending on how that first main part of the game went, it's going to determine how the final showdown happens. So you're going to actually be on the boat. Shark, you're going to be attacking that boat, trying to tear it apart. And, of course, everyone's going to be trying to take out the shark. A surprisingly cool game because it was one of these earlier ones that Target was putting out. A bit of a surprise, just how good it was. Still, it's not as high on my list, though, because it is a little harder to teach people, I think, using that all versus one format. It's not my favorite way to play. Usually I end up being the one, and then, I get blamed for cheating. But if you can get a group that knows how to play this game and is comfortable with it, this is actually a pretty solid time. I'd say it's almost a little bit underrated. Don't sleep on this one. I think it's worth a shot. Now, this next one shocked me because while it is a good movie, one of my favorites growing up especially, I just didn't think it was popular enough to warrant its own game, let alone a game from Target. That is going to be The Princess Bride. Now, this is a cooperative hand management game. It plays in about an hour and a half, and it's a storybook game that just plays out just like the movie. So inside the box, you're going to get this book here, and this book is going to go up, and that's going to be your board. And this board here, once you beat a section, you're going to move on. It's going to be different parts of the movie, different scenes of the movie, and you're going to go through working together to play cards. You don't take the roles of the characters, but you use the cards in your hand to affect the characters and move them around the board and get them to play out the movie. Now, this is actually pretty cool because When we played it, we actually played it while watching the movie, and it took about the same time as the movie, and we were able to kind of play the scenes as we went through. Obviously, it's not exactly perfectly timed, but it's pretty close, and yeah, we had a pretty good time with it. The only downfall is, though, it is kind of simplistic. It's not super in depth. It's worth a game or two, but after that, you're not going to keep going back to it. I see that they're making some other ones. I saw they had a Wizard of Oz storybook game. I wonder what other ones they're going to come out with. It's a pretty cool concept, a pretty cool idea. I just don't think it has the legs for replay that other games have. Maybe the other versions are a little bit different. They got a little bit more. I don't know. I haven't checked them out yet. Maybe I will. But if you like The Princess Bride, if you are a fan, this is definitely worth checking out. Getting at least 1 or 2 plays of it, I think you'll really enjoy it. And number 2 on my list, maybe a little controversial because I think some people would probably put this as their number 1. In fact, a lot of people might put this as their number 1. But for me, it's my number 2, and that is Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. Now, this is a fantastic game. It's another cooperative game. A lot of these are cooperative games. But it is a deck building game. So you're going to be adding cards to your deck to make your deck stronger and playing out your deck from there. And what makes this one so cool and so neat is it's not just one movie, but it is all of the movies. That's right, inside this box here you got games 1 through 7, and as you play them, you're going to have different decks of cards, and they're going to change as you play. So you're going to get more cards, different villains, different powers. The game is going to evolve and get more difficult as you play it. So it starts off very simplistic in this first one. The cards are pretty simple, easy to understand. The characters' powers are all pretty limited and the same. But as you get farther and deeper into the game, you're going to find that your characters will have their own special powers. Of course, you get to play as the main characters, Ron, Hermione, Harry, of course, and Neville. Artwork in this game is from the movie, so you can say that it's not just from the books. Like your opponents here, you're going to have Crabbe and Goyle as well as Draco. These are just your beginning opponents. It's going to ramp up big time the farther and farther you get into this game. So I don't want to spoil too much about what's coming ahead of it, but if you like co-op games, if you like the Harry Potter series, whether it's the books or the movies, either one, I think you'll really enjoy this game. Again, it's a game, you don't have to know much about it because the game teaches you as you progress through it. You're really going to learn all the different ins and outs of deck building games, which I think is amazing. This is the kind of game I really like, and I give big props to its design. I think it was done very, very well. And of course, there's expansions. And before we get to number 1, I got an honorable mention. And why do I have an honorable mention? Because family. Fast and Furious Highway Heist. Now, this is another co-op game, but you're going to be playing as the crew and over 3 different scenarios. One of them, you're just going to be destroying a tank. Pretty straightforward and simple, right? Other one, you're going to be trying to steal stuff off of a semi, more like that first movie. And in the third one, you've got Shaw's helicopter that you need to destroy. So a little bit of variety, even though all the games kind of play the same. So those different scenarios give it, just a little bit more longevity. Yeah, you can't take this game too seriously, but it is a good time if you've got the right mindset. You're going to be doing ridiculous stuff, jumping from cars to vehicles, to shaking people off your vehicles, to just almost doing superhero-like stuff, not unlike the movie. So, yeah, not the greatest game of all time, but if you're in the right mood, this one is a good time. Very fitting I've had this orange cat Fiona here with me because my number 1 game is, yes, it's another co-op. Yes, it's another horror movie, and that is Alien, Fate of the Nostromo. Now, I am a big fan of the movie Alien and Aliens, 2 of the best movies of my childhood. And while I've seen a ton of games that were based off of the movie Alien or Aliens, this is the first one that I was able to play, at least from Target, that was directly based off that movie. Now, this game does take a lot from, say, Matt Leacock's Pandemic series. Every different character is going to have a certain amount of actions that they can take, and they each have special powers. They're going to take their turn, and then bad things will happen. Then another player takes their turn, and then bad things happen. So it's that formula, but that's just a great formula that's proved solid. So, I mean, why mess with it too much, right? So this game is played in 2 parts, not unlike the Jaws game. First part of the game, you're going to be moving around the ship, and you'll have different objectives that you need to finish based off of how many characters you're playing. A lot of it involves, getting spare parts to build things and put them in certain spots of the ship. So you're going to have to be careful. You have to spread out at times. Take chances, because you never know exactly where the alien is. There is an alien piece on the board that's going to be moving around, but every time you go into different rooms, you're going to have to flip tokens to see if the alien actually jumps out and is there. Once you've completed your objectives, then you are going to have a final mission. You don't know what that is until you finish that first part of the game, so you can't fully prepare for that, which is kind of a neat mechanic in itself. The game is for 1 to 5 players in co-op. Though I will say the amount of players you have is going to affect the difficulty level, and I think the more you have, the more difficult it is, because that alien's going to be everywhere, and every time it jumps out, while it doesn't kill characters or damage them, there is a, stress level, fear meter, that once that fills up, then the game is over. Now, you can build weapons that are going to repel the alien, fight it off, flamethrowers, things like that. But you can't kill the alien until the very end of the game. But even with the alien's inability to actually kill you straight out right away, it does build up that tension. Every time you got to go in a room, you don't know if the alien's going to be there. So flipping those stupid little tiles to see if he's there, those are tense moments that, you got to take those chances. Is it going to drive you away? It's going to make or break the game right there. And then you also flip cards to see what exactly this alien is going to do, how much movement it's going to get. So how hard is it going to chase you down? So sometimes you got to use your fellow crew members as bait almost to drive or to distract the alien, pull it away while you can escape and finish off different objectives. The game does come with minis, like this alien here. Not exactly anything to write home about, but it is still pretty cool looking. Would I need to paint this if it's already black? Would that even do anything? That being said, there's also different director's cut rules. So the designer of the game, he had a different set of rules that he liked better. That you can find online, BoardGameGeek.com, as well as other stuff that is. You can find those rules, so you can get something a little more intense. I think his rule set. So that is definitely worth checking out. But that being said, I had a lot of fun with this game. A lot of fun, even with the box rules. Me and a friend of mine, we've played this several times. Sometimes we've got slaughtered, sometimes we were victorious, but every time we've had a good time. So these have been my top movie-based games I got from Target. A little niche of a list, I guess, but hey, whatever. Anyway, this is Coach Troy. I'll see y'all next time.